G'day everybody and welcome to the GameFace Footy Show live here at GameFace HQ in Studio 1. My name is Russell Robertson and I'm bringing you everything Div 2 Southern Football Netball League. Big stories this week. Well, first we've got to cover it straight away. John Donoghue in, Tomo out. Now they're saying he's working in Tasmania, but I reckon it's got something to do with the fact that my boys knocked his Springvale districts off. What do you reckon, Will?
I think that's got a lot to do with it, to be honest with you, Robbo, and great to see you as always.
Yeah.
Maybe running scared a little bit this week, but in all fairness, he does work pretty hard, does a great job. So
he does, and we've got a worthy replacement in John Donoghue.
100%.
How you going, Johnny?
I'm going well, Robbo. Will, how are we?
Now, you may have seen Donna's do some of our great interviews out there in the field. Keep doing that for us, Johnny, but we're happy to have you this afternoon because we're going to be talking everything that happened over 2 weeks. Obviously, we started off with the Good Friday match, and they're calling it the Robbo Show. I'm not calling it the Robbo Show. It was the Robbo Show down at Springy.
You are calling it the Robbo Show.
I look forward to ripping into that one. Murrumbeena knock off Caulfield in traditional Anzac Day clash. And congrats to Matt Carnley. Keysborough, 300 games of senior football, which is an amazing achievement to play.
Exactly right. We'll get to that off the top. So to Hammer, congratulations, 300 senior game on the weekend. He's kicked a hell of a lot of goals over the years. Ex-Forest Hill. Hammer is his nickname there, and Keysy got a good win, which we'll touch on a little bit later. But
it's a lot of footy.
100% it is. But to you, Hammer, congratulations, mate, on 300 Super Games.
Well done, Hammer. Good on you, mate. Good Friday footy. We talked about that off the top. It was a massive crowd down in Springvale, and I've got to say, well done to Springvale Districts for putting on this game because it was a Hampton Park initiative, I believe, first, the Good Friday football. Springvale were really keen to get something going and create a good vibe around their club, and I think they're doing fantastic things down there. They're going to be a good club for a long time to come, don't worry about that, in this
100%.
division, and maybe even in Division 1 in the next few years. But it was a day, the day for the Doveton Eagles. 14-13-97 defeated Springvale, 13-9-87. Will, I know you were there. Talk me through what you saw from the boundary line.
Cracking game of footy. I haven't seen too many better games of Division 2 footy than that one. Two sides that really came to play, Donners. It was a cracking day for footy too. Sun was shining, not a lot of wind.
The bloke to your right played pretty well.
Yeah, he got a couple of kicks. No, the great man to my right, as he said, finished with 7 snags, if you don't mind. Had a day out, just a little bit of head surfing and taking marks here, left, right and centre, and giving it back to the crowd, which I love to see as well. We'll touch on that in a little bit. But fun day out for you, Robbo.
It was, and right from the get-go it was heated, and look, all local football always is, but it was done in the right way. Obviously, standalone games, so there's a lot of people there. Springvale really put on a good show. They're really keen, and I know that they will get themselves up into Division 1 soon. If they keep that sort of enthusiasm up around their club and they recruit well. It's a great ground down there. But Doveton obviously too strong on the day, but both teams had injuries right from the get-go. I think first quarter Springvale lost their first player. Before the game we lost our centre-half forward, obviously not playing with Michael Callan at the moment with a broken ankle, our captain, which is a big loss for us. So both teams have got injuries, Will,
yep,
which may change the way it looks for both teams when they play together, and it's not too far off when we do play each other again, if we can get those guys back.
Yeah, absolutely. Round 15 game brought forward to Good Friday, but you're right, hard fought, contested. I think Springy finished with only 17 players on the field, which not ideal. Ran out of legs in the end. Good win to the Doveton Eagles, but Springvale Districts, they probably went in as underdogs and certainly made them earn it.
Is it a grand final preview?
There's a few good sides in it. There's no reason why it couldn't be, but I think the top end of Division 2 is such that there's quite a few sides that can win it. Obviously Doveton, Springvale, but also throw Murrumbeena and Keysy into the mix as well.
Well, Doveton have been smashing teams, so that's a pretty good result for Springvale.
And so too Springvale as well. They've been doing the same thing to a couple of other sides as well. We'll go through their most recent result a little bit later on, but fantastic game of footy.
Will, I know you were down there. You placed yourself nicely at the food end of the ground where the hamburgers are sold aplenty. Did you partake?
You know what? I was really looking forward to getting down to a burger, and they didn't have the burger marquee up
have it
and
ready?
down. I was shattered.
Did you lodge a complaint? They copped an earful.
Yeah, of course they did. So I spoke to a few of the guys down there, and particularly their president, Sean Francis, Franger. Yeah, great day, but
Not good enough.
You let yourself down with no burgers, mate.
Franger, what are you doing, mate?
The only down on an otherwise flawless flawless day.
Well, you did look a little grumpy after the game, Will, I must say. You might have been a little bit hungry when you interviewed both myself and Tomo. Let's go to that now.
G'day guys, I was just singing down at the Springy Districts Footy Club today that we don't see enough of Russell Robertson and Chris Thompson on the show. So I thought I might grab them both for a quick chat after the game. Robbo, we'll start with you. Fantastic game from yourself. You took the absolute piss up forward. How'd you find it?
I had a ball today, mate. I really did. I was looking for you. I couldn't see you anywhere in the crowd. Where were you, mate?
Behind the goals with a can in my hand.
Of course you were. No, it was. You know what? That was a really great game. Really hotly contested. Really, I think everyone went fair. They were hard at the ball, which is what you want at a local game of footy. And for us, obviously, we've had a couple of easy weeks. Not me, that was my first game, but the boys were talking about after the game, that was our first real push, and that's what it's all about. You need to be tested and you need to, learn from good teams. So we got that today in Springvale. They were great.
Yeah, spot on. And you, Tomo, you must be pleased with the endeavour of your boys. You fell short in the end, but no lack of endeavour.
Yeah, no, the endeavour was there, that's for sure. We lost Brody Letter in the first 30 seconds of the game. We lost Nathan Brown, who was playing on keeper right in the second quarter. We actually finished the game with 17 players on the field in the last 12 minutes. So we fought it out right to the end. They did have a send-off too, so it was 17 on 17 for a while there. But I think everyone would have been walk away from here pretty happy with the game of Southern footy they've watched, and they've got the show from the big fella kicking 5 or 6. So
Seven.
Sorry. Yeah, 7. Yeah.
Should have been 8.
Should have been. Well, talk us through that last shot at goal. You've been getting it from the crowd, sitting right here in the pocket all day. You had a chance to really shove it up them after the final siren. What happened?
I got a bit too carried away with myself, to be honest. I was showboating as I was going back. But you would have seen the most tired leg of all time with that kick, and that was about where I was at too. Because to be honest, look, as much as there was a lot of energy being used out there was a lot of nervous energy too in the last, because Tomo's right, there were a lot of injuries. We lost our centre-half forward before the game. MC, obviously our superstar midfielder, a couple of guys in there. They're really, really good, important players for us. The same with Springy, had a few players out. So I reckon if you've got nothing to do, next time Springy take on Doveton, I reckon you're going to see a cracking game of football, because we both sort of felt each other out today.
How's the body feeling at the moment? I'm probably going to ask you this on the show as well, and I'll probably get a different answer. So how's it at the moment?
Right now I feel great. I've got about 20 blisters on my feet at the moment, so I'm going straight down to the salt water after this and have a walk around in there. In 2 days' time will be the test. That's what happens when you're 40. I'm 40, and you're playing on 22-year-olds, but I loved it. There was just great banter out there. There was a bit of banter here with these boys.
Activity a little bit there at the end.
Yeah, but you get that everywhere you go, and that's all a bit of fun. There's no malice, as long as there's no swearing and carrying on like that. I'm happy with it.
Where to now for Springy Districts, Tomo?
We'll recover. We'll review on Tuesday. We got Heatherton next week, so we've got to move on really quickly. We're disappointed with the result, but we take a lot out of that, and we rate them as the best side in the comp. We knew that. Yeah, they had a few out too. So, but so did we. So, and that's going to happen every week. So, we review Tuesday, and we come out and we get an opportunity now to bounce back against Heatherton.
Yeah, spot on. Well, thanks for joining me, guys. I'll be seeing you guys very shortly. How about we go in and have a couple of cold ones? Eddie, what do you reckon?
Let's throw back to those handsome panel members.
Bloody hell, aren't they handsome? The three of them.
Back to you, handsome boys.
Oh, thanks, Robbo, for that big pump up. It is a good-looking panel, with the exception of you, Will.
Thanks, buddy.
Will, it was a great day.
It was, yeah, fantastic day. And as I said right towards the end, I think it was we all sort of needed a well-earned beer at the end of that, and we certainly did. Let's have a look at this footage. I've got a little bit of a tradition down there at Springy, I believe, where the best of field players from each of the respective home and visiting sides participate in a little bit of a beer scull-off at the end of the day. And of course with 7 sausage rolls.
Oh man.
Robbo. Our man on the right.
I had to show my form.
Yeah, had a crack at it. Let's see how he went.
Count of 3, skull when you finish your cheers, and then skull when you finish, put your hand.
Never in doubt, it is an old school thing to be able to scull a tinny. It's
You had him covered there,
you know,
Robbie.
if it was a Lollywater UDL, maybe he would have got me, because that's the thing for the youth these days, is they like that sugary drink. That's a beer. That's how it's done,
down.
son.
It was looked like a bit dripping down the front. I think there will.
Yeah,
Oh,
you'd
mate, you
say
should have
that.
seen the beer that went down the back of his neck. He's hidden that very
That's
well.
how
from
he's
the
that's how
camera
he's
view,
knocked him
but,
off. He's thrown half it out.
Not sure Pete Hank's going to like that comment about the lolly water, but anyway,
Let's always we practice responsible drinking, don't we?
Of course.
sometimes.
Sometimes. It was a good little bit of banter with the crowd too, Will. I really enjoyed that, and I want to give a shout out to the mustache man. He had a much better mustache man than me, and I told him that when I walked over to him, because he was giving it to me all day, and I walked over and I said, just because I've got a better mustache than you. He's got one of those ones that go up at the end.
That's
mustache
tremendous.
man, you're a good bloke.
That's tremendous. Now, I did see you going back and giving it back to the crowd. You copped a bit yourself, but seven goals really shut him up. Although I've got to say, you did sort of let yourself down with that last kick at goal
Could have
at
had
the
8.
end.
Could have had 8.
20 metres out, directly in front, and he nearly didn't make the distance.
You can't kick them all.
In fairness, he's nudging 60, and he's and he had a fair day out, so we can excuse him. You're pretty gassed by that.
I'll cop that. I'll cop that.
Heavy legs, Robbo. Will
Heavy
down
legs.
to.
Boys, let's move on to the next game. It was the Anzac Day clash. I'm going to get you both to speak about this one. Murrumbina got the job done, 14-17-101, defeating Caulfield 8-4-52. Away you go.
Well, both teams, we covered this, myself and Dan Lonigan covered this one for GameFace. Both teams had a lot of players out that we noticed. There was no Jay Bruno for Murrumbina. There was no Owen Lewis. Luke James as well was out. Jake Semmel. So they were pretty undermanned, but they got the job done pretty easily. I mean, they switched the ball really well. Their captain, Jamie Hackett, had a really good day, and the Brazel brothers, 2 sets of twins in this Murrumbina side. Hard as a commentator to pick them out from the other side of the ground. But the Brazel boys, they had a day out, and Al Bradley with 5 goals as well. He was dominant for them up forward, but Jake Buggy was the only one who really stood out for me for Caulfield.
A bit disappointing there from the Caulfield point of view. Of course, the skipper, Mitch Walder, for Murrumbina won the Anzac medal.
Jamie Hackett is now the new skipper down there.
Is that right?
Mitch Walder gave it away during the week.
During the week
before the game. So Jamie Hackett's the new skipper down there. We were reliably
Before the
informed.
game?
I think in the week leading up, we were told by the coaches down there. So the former skipper, Mitch Walder, did win the Anzac medal, and he was really good all day, rucked all day, and won it comfortably.
Yeah, it really sort of typifies the Anzac spirit, which is what that medal's all about. And fantastic footballer and human being, Mitch Walder. So well done to you.
All right, well done, boys. Fantastic. Let's move on to the other games. Obviously, Good Friday. It was a big couple of weeks, wasn't it, boys? We've had Anzac Day, and I think it's always
Festival of Footy.
Festival of Footy. I think it's done fantastically well these days. All clubs everywhere, and I was part of my own, my boys' junior club. They also did the lineups as well, and every team had someone recite the oath. It was absolutely fantastic, and it's a great thing to teach the youth. But it's happening everywhere. I loved it. Good Friday football. Let's go through the other results. Springvale 21-9-135 defeated Heatherton 8-6-54. Keysborough got the job done as we thought they would. 16-10-106 defeated Skye 2-6-18. Hampton 9-18-72 defeated Chelsea Heights 8-4-72, and the W Eagles rolled on again 19-14-128 defeating East Brighton 5-8-38. I'll get you boys to make some comments on all those games.
I'm worried about East Brighton. If I'm honest with you, they've had a bad start to the year, and Doveton's just done a number on them again, and they don't have a whole lot of players coming back into the side. East Brighton, a couple of blokes, but I think they're nudging 30 almost. So worrying signs for a team that hasn't had a great time of late.
Yeah, exactly right. Keysy, they really came to play in Hammer's 300th game, and Hampton 9-18. That's not great kicking for the Hampton Hammers, but still managed to get the job done over Chelsea Heights 8-4 there. Chelsea Heights, I think they had their past players' day that day as well, so I reckon they would have got a good crowd down there. But and Springy Districts again, a bit of a mismatch over Heatherton, and a comfortable win there.
Oh.
Look at this, boys.
Look
We're
at the
going
next one.
for goal kicking. This is what I'm keen to get to. Official bag is 5. Talk me through the goal kicking from Div 2 over the last couple of weeks.
Over the last couple of weeks. Now we did get our esteemed colleague on the right, Russell Robertson, made sure that we included the Good Friday game in this goal kicking countdown, because right at the top of that sits with 7. As we said numerous times, and you said this wasn't the Russell Robertson show. This is feeding the Russell Robertson show here this afternoon. Stefan Feen from Springy Districts booted 6 last week. Also booted 5 the week
Well done.
before on Good Friday, so that's 11
up.
in 2 weeks. He's having a fair purple patch. Is Popper down there?
He's
Chris
coming
Bryan.
for you, Robbo. He's
Yeah,
coming for
he's
you.
coming for me. Yeah, well, I've only played one game, so. Anyway, Chrissy Bryan, the big man in Keysborough going well, and you'd throw a blanket over those top 4 teams at the moment, sort of say, well, maybe Dubton probably just a little bit ahead at the moment, obviously top of the ladder, but and we'll go through these other goal kickers, but those 4 teams really getting the job done at the moment, aren't they? As we thought that they would.
I think they'll put a little bit of a gap on the rest of the competition. There's a few sides will be up there around about finals contention, but hard to see anyone south of there really sort of challenging for the premiership. But as you said, Chris Bryan with 4 goals. Mark DeVroe booted 4 for Hampton. Piver Wright, your teammate down there at Hampton. Sorry, at Dubton Eagles.
Eagles, yeah. Hampton, he's right. Sorry, two goals, 2 times 4, which is fantastic for him. He is really something else. I mean, yes, he's a big boy, and everyone talks about Pever Wright being this great goal kicker. But the great thing about Pever, boys, and you'd like to know this behind closed doors, he's really a good person to have around your football club. He gets around, he talks to everyone, he's talking about football too. How can I improve? How can we improve? What can we do? Really like to see that. And that's a new player to the club too, because you can
Buying in.
Yeah, buying in. You can be excused for thinking that they're going around just getting money and just getting the next best thing, but he's bought in totally, which is fantastic to see.
Yep, and one more, of course. Matt Carnelli booted 3 in his milestone game for Kersey. Well done, Emma.
Johnny Donahue, I want to ask you, mate, have you ever been sprayed by a coach?
Oh yeah, a lot. Mainly because I'm not manning up in defence. But I told them I'm reading the play, but they tell me no, stand next to him or you're coming off.
It's probably a good reason to get sprayed if you're a defender, not playing on your bloke. But well, we know Rocket Eater's got a name for himself. It's in his name, Rocket, for giving players a rocket, and we've been. Something's come across our desk, hasn't it, Will?
It has. One of our great fans in Troy Parker sent across a little bit of vision. Obviously, Rocket Eid sprung to prominence during the week with that audio from the coach's box from 10 years ago. I've got to be honest, though, it did a couple of things he said in that sort of...
It was one of the greats. One of the great bits of audio.
It was, and it brought back a few memories, specifically the F and run Will, F you Will. I've heard that.
Have you heard that a bit before?
Poor old Will
Could you
Mitchell.
believe it? Anyway, we've had this video sent in, and it's a bit more recent. Taking charge of the Baldwin players. Let's have a look at what he had to say to them at training.
You pick on the back. Oh, we get comfortable. I won't f***ing fish in your pockets anymore. You're going to serve that shit up. Stand it over. No pressure. It's f***ing bullshit. Get your f***ing... It's all here. You don't lose your skill in f***ing one night. It's all f***ing mental. We'll take your pads off. We're a f***ing good side. We're a good team. We beat South Croydon must have played Roval by 20 goals. They're f***ing no good. You know, if you set up that shit on Friday, you won't be in the f***ing team. I don't care whether it's you or f***ing you. I'm playing blokes and want to have a go and stick to the f***ing team. You don't want to stick like
Ah, yes, it makes for good listening. Thank you, Rockets.
That's scary.
How much do we love it, though? I mean, it's not us getting roasted, so it's fantastic.
I've got mates who play ball and they say he's a scary man and training Tuesday, Thursday, so
Look,
I'm sure he's a great coach down there.
You've got to take it for what it is.
He's one of the greats, Rocket.
To be honest, I've copped a lot of sprays in my days. It is an old world thing to do, to spray your players. You don't necessarily do that as much anymore. But look, if you do hear something and have taped it on your phone, we would be more than happy to play it on our GameFace footy shows for you, especially here, Div 2 SFNL. Send it into our Facebook page, SFNL group on Facebook. And also, while you're there, we're encouraging people to download the GameFace app. And you can get that done on the Google App Store, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely, and the iTunes store as well for those with iPhones, which I think is most of the population.
I think
these
everybody
days,
would have that, and you'd be getting all sorts of football stuff on the GameFace app. A lot of leagues, a lot of footage. If you want to catch up on games that you've missed and just stay in touch with local football, the GameFace app is the place to be. Now, Div 2, Team of the Week is the place to be, apparently, too. And you boys have poured over this and pulled out some names for us over the last couple of weeks, because there's been a couple of weeks of footy, one standalone. But, boys, go for your life.
All right, you want to read out the back line,
I
Donis?
will, from the back line. Aaron McElroy from Keysborough, Nathan McDonald at Beena, and Tom Valenta, the last year's best and fairest winner in the back pocket.
Harley Ambrose had a good game against Caulfield. Dylan Webb retains his spot in centre back for Keysborough. And Nick Beer at Dufton's had a good couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm. Jake Buggy on the wing for Caulfield. He was really impressive against Murrumbina. Jeff Humphreys for Keysborough, and Wade King, another one who was really impressive late in the game for Murrumbina.
Absolutely killed it. Mark DeBro, another 4 goals for him on the weekend. He's in great form for the Hammers. Chris Bryan had a pretty good day out. He's retains his spot. And Phil Matheson, Chelsea Heights, kicked a couple in there, lost to Hampton as well.
Full forward line, Al Bradley, he kicked 5 on the weekend, was just nudged out of the full forward spot by our man Russell Robertson, who lines up at full forward for us, and Stephen Fenn.
That's the spot, isn't it? Full forward.
That's where you want to be?
Get out and be space boys.
Stephen Fenn in the other forward pocket there from Spriggy Districts.
He's had a great couple of weeks too, as Papa Feen there. And the rucks we've got from Dufton, Cam Carmody, replaces Bryce Sutton. Late change there. Nick Battle from Dufton, he's just an absolute out-and-out superstar of the competition.
Hasn't missed, has he? Yeah, hasn't missed the team of the week yet.
I reckon we might just leave him there for the whole year. I reckon he's
so.
he's a lockdown there. Had a really good game in Callaman's absence, absolute star. And Nick Brazel, I think you guys reckon he was close to BOG on the weekend for the Boner. He settled in nicely down there.
Certainly was. He was very good. On the interchange bench, Sam Raru from Springvale Districts, Peter Heng from Districts as well, Mick McMahon kicked a couple of goals for Beena, and Michael Duke for Doveton round out the 22.
Yes, well done, boys.
22.
Yes.
Impressive 22, fantastic, good job there and pulling those names out. I know it's a difficult job and can't necessarily get around every single ground, but you get your, I suppose you've got the magnifying glass out and you're making the phone calls and doing all that sort of stuff. So these guys are fantastic. Some games coming up for you, and I'm going to get your tips, boys. Hampton versus Keysborough. Who wins that and why?
We've just spoken about both of these sides. Keysborough, they're in that group of the top 4, I reckon. Probably be too good for Hampton, who I still think might finish 5th at the end of the year.
Yeah, I think Keysborough in this one. I mean, it's a smaller ground down there at Peterson Street Reserve, but and they play it quite well. It's a strange sort of setup down there, Hampton, but I think Keysborough will be too strong in the day.
Carnelli and Chris Bryan up forward, they'll be hard to stop.
Yeah.
Big boys down there in the forward line. Heatherton take on Murrumbina at home.
Probably a bit of a mismatch. I think Murrumbina might get this one quite comfortably, Donis.
I think they're getting their skates on, and once they get those big names back, I think Luke James got 1 more week off. Owen Lewis should be back this week, so once they get their big names back, they're going to be really right up the top. So they'll win.
Back on a Saturday, so Semmel back in as well.
Semmel back in,
And inclusion.
Springvale travel down to Skye to take on them. We're two for Skye at the moment. Obviously not going too well. I don't think they're going to do. Springvale obviously playing some pretty good football, so we know what the result's going to be there. I would have thought Skye would obviously go in hopeful, but where are they at the moment, Will?
Look, it's a bit hard for Skye because they had a late coaching change, a bit late in the piece. Luke Martin taking the reins down there. It'll probably take a while for the guys to sort of work out their system and structures and all that sort of stuff, as it is with any sort of new coach. But I think they're on the right track, that's for sure. Probably don't have what it takes to beat Springy Districts, I don't think, though.
Yeah, no, I don't think they'll come close, unfortunately.
Just stick together down there at Skye, and most clubs are pretty honest with these sorts of things these days. We're going to stick with youth and build a new club. So good luck to Skye with their progression. Doveton Eagles will take on Chelsea Heights at home.
I think your boys will be too strong here, Robbo.
Mm-hmm.
Probably pretty convincing winners. You guys are putting up a lot of big scores against these lower ranked teams, so I'm thinking not a blowout, but a big win for you guys.
Yeah, I'll probably second that, but obviously you're not playing, are you?
No, I can't make this one. Obviously, Melbourne will be playing Hawthorn at the MCG this week, and I obviously work Melbourne
Crucial
home
game
games.
for the D's as well.
My word, it is. It's not looking great down there at the moment, but both clubs, both clubs, Hawthorn, Melbourne, but we're not talking about AFL. We're talking about SFNL, and I reckon
pull your boots on for Melbourne. I reckon.
Does that bring the game back in Chelsea Heights' favour a bit more? Robertson over the full forward line.
Well, we've just taken 7 goals from the final score, haven't we? So
I've got to give Chelsea Heights a chance. Caulfield will be hosting East Brighton. East Brighton obviously coming off a loss.
Yeah, they'd want to win this one, East Brighton, if there any chance to sort of get anywhere this season. Caulfield, weren't great against Bina, but there was positive signs there, as we said. Buggy and Jenkins down forward as well looked to target, so they've got some good players. But East Brighton, if they lose this, it's really panic stations for them now.
Yeah, an important match for both sides. Obviously, both looking for, I think, their first win of the season for both. Probably will be close, but I reckon Caulfield will get the job done on their home deck.
Good on you, boys. Thanks for that. You'll be out watching some football this weekend. Where do you reckon you'll go? What's looking like the game of the round for you guys?
Oh, I'm not sure where I'll be, but I think Caulfield v East Brighton, in terms of an actual contest, will probably be the closest one. And as I said, an important one for both sides. What do you reckon?
I've got the weekend off this weekend, which is handy. Going down the coast with the Dale, so I'll keep an eye on the GameFace app, of course.
Yes,
The
absolutely.
up to date scores. So
Yes.
I'll be keeping an eye on probably Caulfield East Brighton as well, mainly.
Donis, thank you so much for jumping on the panel in Tomo's absence today. You've been magnificent, and good luck to you this weekend with the Dales. I'm sure we don't need to hear any updates on that. Will you just stick to the footy with the updates there? Thanks very much, mate. And Will, as always, pleasure to have you next to me, mate, talking everything football in the Southern Football Division 2.
It's been fantastic for the Robbo show this week. It's been good.
Thanks to our wonderful sponsors. We'll be back next week to bring you all the action from the Southern Football Netball League Division 2. This is GameFace. Ciao.